Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay. Now I know that it's been a little while, okay? I know it's been like 2 weeks, but I do have a good reason for not posting this video earlier. I actually lost the USB portion of my computer. You know, the newer computers, they do not come with a USB port, so my camera couldn't be hooked up to my computer, so I could not edit my videos. Okay, so I recorded about 5 or 6 videos this week, so watch out for that. I will be doing a challenge on my channel, you know, gotta spice things up, and I have so much more coming. So stay tuned for Tech Talk Part 2. Alright guys, so before we get started, I want to bring your attention to this cute little shirt that I designed for my Motivate Tea line. So if you guys like this shirt, make sure that you go to my website and check that out. I'll put the link below. And let's get started. Alright, so let's go on to the first tip. So number 1 is remember that you're only one person. Now, as a tech, you may be dragged in so many different directions. This person needs your help. You know, the nurse may need your help. The other techs may need your help. The patient, you know, the patient's family members, they'll all need something from you. And sometimes at the same time. But you have to remember that you're only one person. Sometimes they'll get mad. Some people will tell on you. You know, there's nurses out there that even if they see that you're busy, they'll still tell on you and say you're not helping them. But if you're working with multiple nurses, sometimes one nurse's patients may be a little bit more demanding than another nurse's. So you're gonna be with this nurse the whole time because that patient may sit on that call light. So you may be in, you know, a few rooms the whole night, and then the other patients don't get your attention as much, and that's how it is sometimes. But you're only one person, and sometimes you just have to help the person that needs you the most. And also, you know, if you're trying to do too many things, you have to remember that it can lead to frustration on your part because you're just like so stressed out, you know, and it can also lead to mistakes. So you don't want to make mistakes by just trying to be everywhere all at once. Focus on one patient and one thing at a time, okay? And also remember that, you know, the nicer you are sometimes, the more people will ask you for help because they know, okay, this person is nice, they're hardworking. Let me just ask them. You know, sometimes they won't ask the lazy person because they know they won't do it. So they'll come to you and ask you every minute. But again, remember, you're only one person. Focus on one thing. You know, sometimes you do have to multitask. But for the most part, focus on one patient. When you're done, go see the next one. That's just how it is. Just be very careful because in medicine, it's all good until it goes bad. You know, you may be really good with one nurse one week. They compliment you on how helpful you are. And then the next week, if you're not helping them as much, what's going to happen is that they're going to complain and say, and they forgot all about the fact that you helped them in the past. Okay? And that's the same thing with the patients. You could be so cool with the patients, and then once something doesn't go their way, then they get mad at you. So it's all good until it goes bad. Okay? So remember, you're only one person. My next tip is don't take things personal. Now this one is really, really hard at times, okay? There's some times when you can brush over people's attitudes and certain things, but then there's other times where it's really hard not to take things personal. You know, usually when someone's acting a certain way, it has nothing to do with you, you know, most of the times. But sometimes it's hard to just like just bypass their behavior, because you know what, I don't like dealing with bad attitudes. I don't like dealing with your attitude, you know, because we all have stuff going on in our lives, and it's unfair for me to bring my baggage to work and take things out on my coworkers. I don't need to be going in with the attitude, because no one deserves that, you know. And you know, you have to try to remember though that there's some people that don't deal with stress very well. You may deal with stress very well. Like, I try not to freak out over every little thing, because things usually always work out, and I feel like the more you freak out, the more stressful you become, and then you make other people stress because of your stress, you know. But I realize that not everyone can handle stress well. When some people start acting crazy, I just stay away from them. You know, I ignore them because I know that's how they are as a person. But, you know, in general, if you just come in with a bad attitude, I just ignore you, because no one wants to deal with that. You know, we all have things going on, and it's not fair to treat your coworkers any kind of way. So it's annoying. But as long as they're respecting you as a person, as long as they're not disrespecting you, then sometimes you just gotta ignore it, you know, because some people are just who they are, you know. So you can't take it personal. Sometimes it's work related stress, and you have to be understanding to that, and sometimes some people just have bad attitudes. But either way, try not to take things so personal, which is very hard, but you know, that's something I'm definitely working on. But for the most part, I just ignore the BS. Alright, so the next tip is, do not trust your patients. Yes, I said it. Don't trust these people, okay? Because here's the thing. They'll be normal 1 second, and then you think everything is all good, and they'll completely switch on you the next. Okay, so you can't trust them. They're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There was a situation with one of my coworkers where a patient was so calm. You know, she went in there to draw blood. And this was when she was a tech. She's a nurse now, but this is when she was a tech. And she went in there to draw blood, and the patient grabbed the IV out of her arm and stuck it in my coworker's arm. And she did not see it coming. Okay, that was scary. And the patient actually had Hep C. And, you know, my coworker was okay. She didn't get it from that incident. But you do have to remain a safe distance from them. There was another coworker that said a patient punched her in the face one time. So, you know, I don't get too close. You know, the Jamaican in me knows how to run away from these patients. They've never injured me. I think the worst a patient ever done to me was like twist my finger, you know, and I mean, I was okay, but I just stay a safe distance. Once they start acting very belligerent, I'm like, okay, let's get security, because, you know, if you get injured by most of these patients, nothing's gonna happen. They're not gonna go to jail, because some of them are just confused. So it's like, okay, you can't send a person who has psych issues to jail. They just don't do that. So you always want to make sure that you're staying a safe distance from them. Don't try to be a hero, you know, just don't trust these people. Next tip is to do things right the first time. You know, a lot of times it's tempting to take shortcuts, but sometimes that could just bite you in the butt later. So it's important to do things right the first time, even if you're tired or if you're dealing with stuff, you know. And you have to remember that you're dealing with people's lives, so you just want to make sure that you're following the protocols. And it's easy to lose things that you worked really hard for. You know, you went to school, you got your license. It's easy to lose those things. It's hard to get, but so easy to lose. So just make sure you're always protecting yourself by just doing things right the first time. All right, my next tip is to form your own opinions of things. So that's with your patients and, you know, the orders, everything. If someone gives you a report, you take down their report, but you also want to go back in the computer and check through the patient's charts and make sure that you're gathering your own information, because of course we we mentioned that you can't blame the previous person before you for not telling you something. Now, sometimes it sucks when people don't tell you pertinent information, but it happens. That's why you always want to try and get your own report. Listen to other people's report, but then get your own report, because things change all the time. So get your own reports and form your own opinions of the patients. So a person may tell you this patient is crazy, and that may be true in some cases, because some patients are a little wild, and sometimes it's true what they're saying, but we all have different temperaments. So I may be a lot more calmer than the other person, and maybe me talking to that patient is not going to garner the same reaction. So you got to think about the fact that you're different from other people, so you may have a different experience with the patient. In those special cases, there are crazy patients that no matter how nice you are to them, you're just going to get the same reaction as everyone else. But always just form your own opinions on things and do your own research. Alright guys, so the next tip is to trust your intuition. Okay, so that's not just a life skill or something you should do in your real life. It's also something that you should apply to medicine. Because you went to school, you got trained for this job, and you're around your patients more than the doctors, and sometimes the nurses miss something too. So it's like, you can't say, well, the nurse didn't catch it, so then I may be wrong. You can't count yourself out. You have a brain just like they do. So just use your brain, and if you feel like something is off, do something about it. I think in all hospitals, anyone can call a rapid response or a code if they feel like something is off. The family members can do it, you can do it, the nurses, it doesn't matter who. If you feel like something is off, then you could be right. So always, trust your intuition. You don't have to listen to what everyone else says. You have your own brain for a reason, and just, learn to trust yourself a little bit more. Alright guys, so the next tip is to communicate with your patients. Now, they always say listen twice and speak once. Okay, a lot of times these patients, they just want someone to listen to them. You don't always have to have the answers. Sometimes just listening to them and offering some kind of support, sometimes that helps them like more than you think. A lot of patients are just happy someone is there that they can talk to. Now, there are patients that will talk your ear off, okay? And unfortunately, when you have a lot of other patients, you just don't have time, okay? I had this lady a couple of days ago. She was really nice, but she liked to talk, okay? And sometimes, I'll stand in the room for a few minutes and just talk to them, because sometimes they have interest in things to say, and some people just want you to listen to them. So I'll talk to them instead of rushing out. But this lady had me in there for like 35 minutes. And her stories were interesting and everything, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. I have like 6 more vitals left. But for the most part, I just try and listen to my patients and validate their concerns if I can do something about it. And if I can't do anything about it, sometimes me just listening or telling the next person is gonna help that person. I just try to treat people how I would want to be treated if I was in the hospital. Just treat them like a person. Alright guys, so the last tip is to protect your reputation. Now, if you read the book, The 48 Laws of Power, that's like one of my favorite books to read. That book goes into detail about this whole concept. It's not about people liking you or not liking you. It's about respect. You want people to know that you're about the business. Okay, you don't want to be that person that's known for dating everyone at work or being lazy, or you don't want that bad reputation, because everywhere you go, there you are. Your reputation will follow you. Don't forget that. Okay, you want to make excellence your brand. You want people to know that you're professional. When you come to work, you do your thing, and that's that. Okay, and I mean, if you look at women like Oprah or Beyonce, not everyone likes these women, right? But you respect them because they make excellence their brand. Okay, you know they're about their business, they get it done, they're professional, and that's how you should strive to be. Now, if you just don't care about nothing, that's a different story. You know, because some people, they just don't care. But if you want to be that true professional and someone who has other people's respect, not like. People don't have to like you, but they will, you know, as long as they're respecting you, you know, it is what it is. But just make excellence your brand, and just, you know, guard your reputation. Watch what you're doing, and watch how you carry yourself. Okay, and also watch how you treat people, because there are some people that do not know how to treat others. You know, just because you're in a higher position, don't treat that person below you with disrespect, because that person can become your boss one day. Don't forget that. Alright, you guys, so that is it for this video. Those are my tips for your patient care tech job, and I really hope that these tips are helping and you can apply these to your job. Make sure that you get this t-shirt from my website if you are feeling it. And also, I'm gonna have a lot of other videos this week. I'll probably post 2 more videos this week. You know, I'm kind of trying to play catch up. But I'm gonna be doing a challenge, so watch out for that. Make sure you're subscribed, and I want to thank you guys once again for 1,000 subscribers. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.